Yo, what's up guys? So as many of you may know, the $20 price bracket has been crazy recently, and I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with the more popular sets like the Chu, Zero, Wan'er, and Cadenza, but there's a very underrated IEM that has slipped under many people's radar that I think we should talk about, and that's the Moondrop Quarks DSP. But before we start, I'm going to replace the Chu and the 700 Zero with the Wan'er and Cadenza, since to me they're just a better version of them. And I'm also going to group the Wan'er and Cadenza together since they're very similar aside from some minor differences in vocal and bass. Another reason why they'll be grouped together is because I heard some say the Cadenza is bass light versus the Wan'er, while others claim that the Wan'er has less bass than the Cadenza, which leads me to believe the difference is more of a QC issue as proof in the differences of these graphs. But that aside, let's just jump right into it. The DSP to me sounds the cleanest out of all the sub $50 IEMs I tried, along with having the best dynamics. Instruments can be heard more clearly on the DSP versus the Wan'er and Cadenza, which is most likely because of the mid-bass scoop on the DSP, trading away that warmness and mid-bass impact for better overall clarity. Now this does make male vocals sound more recessed and kick drums and bass guitars less impactful when you do compare it to the Wan'er and Cadenza, especially the Wan'er, which has the most forward vocals, but overall everything else sounds stunning, along with a very satisfying sub-bass rumble that's close to the truthier Zeros. The mids on the DSP is very clean and as detailed as you can get around this price, although imaging and staging is average, which is to be expected. But aside from its clarity, the DSP also does an amazing job in treble dynamics that you just don't get in other budget sets. Maybe this has to do with the smaller 7mm driver, but the treble is smoother compared to the Wan'er and Cadenza. There's a gradual even decrease from 3 to 9K that the others don't have, and I thought no weight would be thin due to the mid-bass scoop, but everything actually sounds pretty natural, probably because the DSP has less treble air, which helps with thinness, although at the cost of less soundstage openness. But with a lower upper mids treble tuning, the DSP to me is a better tuned variation that's less fatiguing and less thin. Although of course the variations are still better when it comes to stage air, imaging, and overall detail, but I wouldn't say it's $500 or 35 times better. In conclusion, if you want the cleanest signature under $50, the DSP is my current recommendation, but I do still think there's room for the Wan'er and Cadenza for those who want a neutral warm tuning, as well as the QKZ HBBs for those who want a very warm signature. However, I don't think the difference is big enough to justify getting the truthier Zeros over the DSP, especially since the DSP is tuned better than the Zero that can get quite fatiguing in its upper mids and treble with worse overall dynamics. But in terms of overall detail, imaging, and soundstage, they're all very similar, with the exception of Wan'er having the most forward vocals, so if you like vocals, then you should get the Wan'er. But good news bassheads, the DSP is a rec for you. Kind of. Well, only in the sub bass. If you want the missing mid bass, go grab the QKZ, do a little fusion dance, and there you go. Now, I don't think the QKZ is a bass headset by any means, but I think it does the warm signature very well. Not much bleed, great mid-bass impact, and decent tech and treble extension, so I would still recommend it to bass heads as a decent bass set. Also, I will be getting the Hola and Con in a week or two, so there'll be a bigger comparison with all the budget sets later. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, drop your comments below, and peace.